Hello everyone, welcome back to more Bombe, where we're teaching the computer to play Minesweeper. This is... So if I... Well... We're working on, like, understanding inequalities now. By the way, if I... Okay, I still haven't solved this level. Oh, I double-clicked, so there's some after this that I've solved now. Oh my gosh, faster please. Okay. So the new rules we discovered in this area apply up here as well, but not the puzzle that we left behind, I think. The puzzle that we partially solved. I mean, I guess we could take a crack at... Here. See if we're unlocking anything actually interesting. Probably not, right? You know what? Today might be a fun day to have a go at squares, wouldn't it? Let's just finish, I don't know, cashing in this column here of modest complexity in Hexland. I've completed 2,000 hexagon levels, Steam achievements inform me. Sure is a lot going on in there. Okay, so how about squares? Did we... No, okay, we don't have anything new. The stuff that we haven't covered in squares was just related to the geometry and not... Okay, so anyway, we can say if we have a 3 that's completely contained within another 3, then clear the ones that are not part of the overlap. Well, let's slow this back down. A 2 and a 3. Well, that'll put a 1 here, surely, right? So this... Oh, these are both 2s. Well, that'll put 0 here then. So this rule and this rule. If we have 2s contained within each other... then no matter how big this area is, there can't be any mines there. Okay, look at it go. Good work, computer. What now? Boy, it's so tiny. It's a 3x3 Minesweeper puzzle. So now I guess we're going to say if there's 2 colliding with 3, put a 1 somewhere. If there's a 2 contained within a 3, irrespective of their sizes, then where they don't overlap, there must be 1. Good. Likewise, I guess a 2 within a 4. There must be exactly 2 mines where they don't overlap, right? Yes. Now, do I not already have a general rule for this? I thought I did. If there is... Oh no, I had one where there was 1 of the non-overlap, I guess. If there's... a 4 overlapping with any region, and there's only 2 places to put mines outside, then there must be 2 or more mines in the overlap. Now we can say if there's 2 or more mines completely contained within a 2 region, then the non-overlap must be empty. Okay. What's going on here? There's not like a perfect overlap or anything anywhere. If... Alright, let's just do this one mentally by brain. So a mine here would solve the puzzle, perhaps. Like that looks valid from where we are. Can we prove that no mine here? I don't know. What's going on? If there's a mine here, there's definitely a mine here. Is the opposite true? If there's no mine here, there's also no mine here. So these two squares are the same. That's interesting. Why is that true? I mean, you could just sort of do it brute force and say, well, if there's one here, then both of these ones will say there can't be a mine there in any of this, and therefore the only place left to put this guy's mine will be here. So I guess what I'm supposed to do is, I mean, you know, this is my algorithm. I can do it however I want. There's no supposed to. But what seems simplest is to not worry about this region at all. Use these two regions right. But I do have to worry about this region because I can't prove whether this is a mine or isn't a mine, or whether there's a mine here or there isn't a mine. I don't think. I can prove that this and this are the same. Which actually doesn't seem like it gets me anywhere. Like, if I prove that, what am I going to click on next? What's the computer going to click on next? Nothing that I can see. Suppose that this clue weren't here at all. In fact, let's hide it. Oh, whoops, let's hide it. There'd be nothing... Oh, I hid the wrong one. Visible, please. What? No, you. Visible. I wanted you invisible. The question is, could I derive anything interesting with just these two regions? Like, I mean, sort of. I can prove either one of these exactly and none of the other two, or both of these and none of these. But I don't know yet about, like, ors. I wouldn't be shocked to find that there is some support for that. But I also would not be shocked to find there isn't, because it seems like if you have access to ors and can reason, like, can build rules based on them, you might just be able to brute force the whole thing, which doesn't seem very interesting. But maybe you can't. At any rate, I don't yet have the tools to write down anything that I could learn based on just these two regions. So put this region back. And I said already, one solution that seems possible is a mine here. Then we could click all 4 of these. But is there any one, like, another solution that looks possible is a mine here and a mine here, right? In both of those cases, that doesn't give us anything. What we need is to find a space we can click on, regardless, like in all possible layouts, which therefore can't be any of these 3. So it must be these. Like, we must be able to conclude there can't be a mine here or something like that. And I think by symmetry, it must be the case that they're both guaranteed safe. I can't see any reason only one of them would be guaranteed safe. It looks perfectly symmetrical. So why is it that this can't be a mine? Suppose it were a mine. There'd be nowhere to put the second mine. It couldn't touch this or this, which encompasses everything. And this wouldn't have a place to put a mine. I think that might just be like what I have to write down, right? Like, if there's 3 ones that interact in this way, you can't put one here or here for some reason. It doesn't seem quite satisfying. And I'm not sure about how to generalize it. I don't think the sizes matter. Well, let's just put all these regions in. And say... I mean, the other thing I was thinking is... maybe... if I, like, just said, oh, you know, wherever there's a 1, then there's an at most 1. And maybe having an at most 1 in this region overlapping with this 1 would be interesting somehow, but I don't think it would. So we'll take this whole thing, and the important parts are the zeros, right? I think I can say... that has to be safe, yeah. But I don't think I could question that out as well? Okay. So this... somehow the fact that this can't see any other areas is important. I suspect... if I put the clear on this cell, I'd find a different 0 is important, but fine, I'll take what I can get. Sure, the intersection of a 2 and a 5 is sort of obvious. If a 2 is contained within a 5, then there are definitely 3 mines where they don't overlap. We did it! We made it through all the square easy puzzles. So how are we doing? Yeah, easy small, I guess. Okay, like lots faster, please. overlapping with a 2 seems pretty important. Wait, what did I do? This 2. And this 3. Yeah, okay. So if there's only one place for the 3 to put its mines outside of the 2, well, can I not say no? I was going to say, can't I just say that there's definitely 2 mines elsewhere? Like, 2 mines in the rest of it? I think I can, yeah. If there's only one place to put a mine outside of the connection, then there must be at least 2 mines inside the connection, right? Yeah, I don't care what this other rule is or how big it is or what. And then, by putting a 2+ here inside of a 2, that rule will trigger and will solve the 2s. These 3s intersecting sort of look important. Yeah. I think. Well, actually, I mean, I can say there's at least 1 mine here. But that doesn't help, right? I think we have to actually involve the 1. And basically show that one of these 2 squares must be a mine. Because if none of them were mines, would that be fine? Well, I guess it would be fine if none of them were mines, actually. We'd have this, this... No. Oh, is this just about this 1 and this 3? I don't even need this one? I think so. They overlap in 2 spots. It's just hard to see because of, I don't know. Yeah, so if there's space for only 2 mines, can I not just say there's 1 or more mines here? Illogical. Not here. Here. Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't have that rule already. I think I must have had a more specific version of that rule. I found it fairly late in the simple hexagons, I think. Isn't this the rule I just wrote? What's the difference? Oh, it is the rule I just wrote. Sort them by ID, please. I mean, I don't know. I guess I actually may be sorting by 1. Well, I had this, this. Huh. This one. What's the difference here? That's 3 and this is 3 plus? Okay, that's fine, I guess. And I guess this is just going to be the same thing, but for 5s, so... There's only space for 3 mines in the 5 area. Then there are 2 plus in the overlap. Ah! What the hell? Ah, I put so many inferences in here. Okay. And yet it was insufficient. Oh, look, there's even a hidden one. One that I inferred and then hid. Wow. Okay, cool. Okay. What do we do here? Interestingly, when I highlight this 3, it doesn't tell me anything. It's the same as this region, but for some reason it doesn't show up when I highlight here. Like they're both giving me the same information. Huh. Well, alright, let's start hiding rules I don't care about at the moment to see if I can understand what's important here. This could be important. I'm going to keep that. I could hide this rule, like, programmatically, because it's already a given from this 2 or more. And that would hide this one as well, and also this one. They're sort of useful to reason from, but I haven't figured out what kind of balance to strike between... Like, if I hide them all, I might not realize my program has already inferred them, right? So it's sort of nice to leave them there, I feel like, in general. So this 2, is that important somehow? I sort of have a suspicion that this 1 acting as a wire is, like, really important somehow. Like, if I assume this isn't a mine, for example, then this will be a mine. Well, it's easier to go the other direction. Sort of. Like, if this isn't a mine, then these are both mines, which means there's no mines here. Which means these are both mines. That seems possible. Whereas if this is a mine... Wait, hang on. No, that didn't seem possible. If this isn't a mine, then these both are... These both aren't. And these both are. Yeah, that does seem possible. Whereas if this is a mine, then this isn't. These both are. This isn't. And then we can't really tell? Well, yeah, we can. Because we know there's... We then know there's exactly 1 here, which means this is a mine. So that ripples around. So... It seems like either guess we make here is possible. There's something else, like... You know, this is never a mine, or something like that. But I don't think that's right. Okay, well, for now, let's hide these one or mores to try and get a little clarity on the situation. Just less clutter. Now, why do I have this 2 or more? Where did this come from? Shouldn't it really be a 2? Because we marked this as a mine. Congratulations. But there's... Right? Like, this is a 2. Where did this knowledge come from? Nowhere, right? This was given. And this region, I guess, came... I don't know. So the problem is this is supposed to be a 2. Why isn't it? It is. This is a 2. Okay. So that's just where this... Okay. So I guess one thing we can do is say... If there's a 2 or more completely contained within a 2 region. So, hang on, that's too many things. This and this. Then hide that clue. Great. Simplifying again. Why? What? Let's go through all the W questions, I guess. Haha. These 2 squares are interesting. I have the exact same information about both of them at the moment. So it almost looks like you could argue by symmetry, but that's not true, because if I discover a clue here, it would tell me something about this one that I don't yet know. So while I have the same information about them at the moment, I won't necessarily in the future. I don't see what's going on here. I sort of wish there were more drawing tools to let me, like, play around. Maybe there is one. No, I don't see one. Okay, well, I mentioned a few episodes ago that the dev wanted me to remember that the hint button is part of the game and not cheating, so let's try pressing it. Those two, huh? What do I do about that? Also, it hid the one or fewer that I had here for some reason. I know I can hide this. This still seems unimportant. Oops. And then I'm back to where I was, right? I mean, okay, fine. Let's ask, could this be a mine? If it were, this wouldn't be. Which means these would be. This wouldn't be. These would be. Ah, that would be a problem. Because then there would be 3 in this 2 region if I made this a mine. So I mean, there seems to be something going on here, but I don't really understand what it is. I can do it by just creating the cross product of all 4 of these things. And say there can't be a mine here, right? But I don't know why. I could be more explicit, more general there. This, I mean, can I say question mark? Yeah, that's fine. No. 1 or more, I assume, is... No, it has to be 1? So the fact that this region is size exactly 1 is somehow important. 1 or fewer? That's allowed. The fact that this region is size 2 is probably very important. I don't imagine 2 or more or 2 or fewer is allowed. Will still be correct. It is correct. 2 or more, also fine? Doesn't even matter. Huh. So the only thing that matters is that this region has room for at most 1 mine. Well... Because that means there's at least 1 mine in this area, right? Which I guess is important to get the chain started on both ends. Gets a mine either here or here. I don't think this is the right solution. I think if nothing else, I should somehow be able to put like a +1, a 1 or more region from here to here. And say like, it's part of a 2, therefore each of its pairs have a 1 or more in them. But I don't know a way to do that yet. Well, I mean, it sure is the case that you only solve each situation once, and then every new situation is like not trivial. I guess that's not. Several of them have been trivial. It's like, oh, this is our first time seeing a 5 or whatever, right? But this is just like, there's no obvious spots where like, oh, a 3 overlaps with a 1 and leaves 2 behind, which is what you're used to in Minesweeper. You see that all the time. But we've solved that forever now. It's never going to happen. I guess we're going to end up proving that there's a mine here, right? After that, I'm not sure what. Or maybe that there isn't a mine there? What I'm seeing is that, like, okay, you could fit 2 mines in here overlapping with none of the ones if you wanted. But there has to be at least 1 mine either here or here. That will mean there's at most 1 mine between here and here. Yeah, so this is a mine. I'm not sure that even doing that will solve things, but I can certainly write that down. So when a 3 has size 2 touching none of them, I don't really care whether these 2 touch, I think. Do I? I don't care how big that is. But it is important there not be a place, like another place where you could put 3 things. There's 1 mine that has to go between one of these 2, right? And then we take this inference, combine it with these 2 regions. And we can say there's at most 1. Okay, I don't know if I can't figure out where I can write damn question marks. I don't think I care how big this region is. I don't care how big that region is. Like, anything that's marked as a positive number, I don't care about. The question is, how many of these zeros do I care about? Does it matter that there's no place to write in just the 1 or more? Yes, that's important. Does it matter that these 2 don't ever touch each other? I don't think that matters. That would just be even more constraining, right? If they did touch. Do I care if there's a place where all three of them collide? I'm not really sure. But the point is that the region where these ones touch each other has at most one between them. So do I care about this? It turns out I don't, it says. It says it's still logical. This I for sure do care about, yeah. Alright, that was enough to solve it. I'm not sure how. All I got was a mine down here, and then I don't know what I was supposed to do with it. But I guess that was it rippling backward, right? I proved at least one in that square. And then since there was only one square, I proved exactly one, which turned some of my other at most ones into exactlies or something like that. I don't know. I kind of wish I could go back and see that being solved. I understand. I have it on very fast because sometimes it just churns through a billion puzzles and I don't care about those puzzles at all. But I want, like, a slower speed for a puzzle that I've been working on, right? Oh, you can just skip a level. I didn't realize that. I mean, I can just say, hey, are there any that... Okay, there's two more that we were going to get to that we already had answers to. So, but if I wanted to, I guess, I could go back here, skip Nightmare Mode puzzle, which has just gotten worse, and go to the next one, right? Oh, there's another one that we've solved by, yeah, two more by what we've been fiddling around with elsewhere. Cool. Any of these? No. Where even are we? I don't remember what we're working on. Are we doing squares? I guess so. Yeah. Looks like I inferred some plus ones here. Oh, really? I don't have a rule for this yet? That seems easy. There's just like always two here exactly, right? Yep. I mean, I guess when a 6 connects with anything and anything and anything, we can say there's at least one in this area, right? Because there's only 5 to put in, so we can say one at least here, not here, here. All right, only one left in this difficulty level. It would be nice to get that out of the way. Oh, look, I put a 0 or 2. That's a huge region to have 0 or 2 in, according... How did I derive that? This one and this one? Really? Huh. They overlap in exactly one place. Here. And therefore, either there's a mine here and none in the rest of those ones, or no mine here and 2 in the rest of those ones. Interesting. So what else does this 0 or 2 touch? It seems like it might be important. I mean, 0 mines here would be constraining, but not impossible. I guess that's sort of useful, huh? There's a 0 or 2. No, wait. That's just going backwards from where I just came from, right? It's not like I can say in these two there's 0 or 2. There's 0 or 2 in this whole giant region. So I can't like conclude that there's 0 in this area. So there might be 1 in here and then 1 over there. What is all this about? Oh, that's for a rule. I see. I mean, it seems like if this 0 or 2 were actually a 0, that would be pretty impactful, right? But I guess it would be possible. We'd have a mine here. And then mines here and here, and that would be it. Oh, and here? That seems possible. This 3 overlapping with this, like, almost looks important, but isn't really. Which makes sense, because if it were so important as to leap out to me, then one of the rules I've already written would apply to it. Oh, this 0 or 2 I came up with, it's got to be important somehow. And yet, it's not. I hate being stuck with one of these, but I don't see what to even, like, tackle here. I mean, I guess the thing to do is start, like, doing trial and error. Try to find a square that can't possibly be a mine. And then prove why, like, understand why it is in a more general sense. I could just ask for a hint, actually. Sure, give me a hint. These two, huh? Okay. So, could this be a mine? It seems very possible. What do these two even have in common? They're connected by the 3 and the 2. Man, so far I haven't gotten a single hint that I've appreciated. This is like the 3rd hint button I've pressed and I have no idea what to do about them. mean, okay, yeah, great. But, like, give me back my 0 or 2, I guess. Wait a minute, is that really... So when I hit hint, it hid more of the clues that it thinks I don't need. Not just the ones I inferred. So it left me 4 regions and said these 2 squares are interesting. Okay. So what am I even supposed to like think about these regions? I could ask questions like, could they both be mines? And maybe I'll prove that that's impossible. But it doesn't seem impossible. Could they both be non-mines? Maybe. That would put 2 mines here. And 3 mines here. Well, actually, this square is interesting, right? If this... Well, actually, this whole 3. If any of these 3s were non-mines, then there'd have to be a mine on one of these 2 squares, right? So if this were a non-mine in particular, maybe that's interesting. Then we'd have these non-mines. This would be a mine. So if this is not a mine, then this is a mine. Okay. So what, though? Well, okay, if this is not a mine, then this is a mine, which means there's at most 1 in this area. So actually, I think this has to be a mine. Okay, the hint was good this time. It just took me a while to get there. If this is not a mine, then there's a mine here. Which means there's a mine here, right? Yes. Which means there's at most 1 mine here. So there's at most 1 mine here, at most 1 mine here, and no mine here, according to our assumption that this is not a mine. So that's impossible. So this square must be a mine. There's not a very nice general way to say that, though. Let's see. Can I narrow it down a little bit more? Actually, does the 0 or 2 that I came up with make that inference easier to make, maybe? Could it involve fewer clumps? Because that's one nice thing about making these kind of random inferences is you can only have rules that involve up to 4 regions at a time. And eventually, I imagine, you get to puzzles complicated enough where you need to look at more than 4 regions at a time to get anything marked, or to even make a new region. Well, I guess to make anything marked. And so you can extract some information from 2 or more regions into a single region. I don't know if in this case that's helpful. Because if I said there was no mine here, then there definitely would be 2 in this region total. But that could go to all kinds of crazy places. It doesn't have to necessarily go here. So I think in this case, I can't really use my 0 or 2. And I've never used a 0 or 2, but maybe someday. Or wait, don't I have a rule that deals with that once? Like if there's a 1 or more contained within a 0 or 2? Oh, that's weird. Okay. Yeah, there it is. This rule has cleared 1 mine ever. And triggered once. Oh yeah, because this felt like way too, I don't know, specific. Where's that other one involving 0s and 2s? This one has cleaned 2 mines, but still only triggered once. Anyway, I don't think we can use the 0 or 2 right now. We have to say this. Wait. Oh yeah, I'm not using this one, I guess. This and this. So then I can mark out a bunch of question marks. I think the fact that there's 2 here might not matter very much. The fact that there's only 1 here is important. I don't think I care about that. Well, okay, let's back up. I'll say because of all of those things, there must be a mine here, and it says yes. And now we can start generalizing. I think the size of this region doesn't matter. Correct. The size of this region, definitely don't care. I'm not sure about this region. Apparently not. So all of that, yeah. Like, I think these 0s are super important. Maybe not all of them, apparently. But most of them. That's so... I mean, by doing this trial and error, the game is giving me feedback about understanding the generalities of this better, but I don't really understand it still. And even after I put a mine here, does that actually solve things, or am I going to have to go further? Yeah, I didn't get any new information. I just made new inferences, and it's gotten even messier. What is this? Well, there should be some backwards logic from here, where like I reasoned that there was at least 1 mine here, and oh look, there's only 1 square. Therefore, there's at most 1 mine as well, and then I can reason everything backwards. That usually happens when you're going back and forth through at least and most, and you get to an edge where you can prove one direction's impossible. You can prove it's impossible all the rest of the way back. Like, for example, I guess I can say, put this in the constructor. We can simplify things a little. If there's a 1 or fewer completely contained within a 1, then hide the 1 or fewer rule, please. Okay. Shouldn't there be a 1 or more between these 2 now? I don't know why there isn't. Rule already present. Oh, there it is. I just got confused about which two this was marking, I think, or I didn't see this rule. Great. So maybe now we can start assuming this is a 0. Does that get us anywhere? None of these are mines, which means these both are. Which means none of this is. This isn't either. I guess this would be the last mine. Here, here, and here, these three. Seems possible, but it's not a proof. To get more information, I have to find a place that can't possibly be a mine. This square actually looks sort of promising, because it connects back into the big mess of ones. Suppose this were a mine, right? I also wish I could just, like, play Minesweeper on this board for a bit. Like, fine, the clues maybe could be up, but just, like, let me draw a mine here, or mark it temporarily or something. Oh, keep in mind the hint did also point me to this square, so that makes it look more promising still. If this were a mine, then of course there would be no mine here. And there'd be exactly one mine here, which means exactly one mine here. Which would mean no mine in either of these spaces, which breaks this rule, right? But that's a lot of regions involved, isn't it? Like this region. And I also use this region. Mine. I use this region. And I use this region. But I think I used another one as well. I used this. How do I go to the rule constructor? Yeah, I used this rule too, and that's not in my list. Or this region. Ah, I can just right click to get rid of it. Cool. Can I like add that? Well, sort of. Because maybe this is kind of taking the place of all the one regions I cared about in some way. So I think I was proving that this can't be a mine, but I don't have all the right regions selected to prove it. I need to distill the information more somehow. All right, well, I guess we're going to leave this with just one unfinished in this area. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.